Okay, so quick review here of Vindicating Trump. This is a documentary that surprisingly, I mean, it's playing in theaters. And I'm guessing select theaters. I don't think AMC will have this feature, but we do have it at my local theater. And it's by this guy. I don't know who this guy is. I think it's Dinesh D'Souza. And that's how you pronounce his surname. Which, like, and I see the surname like that. I'm thinking, it sounds Latin derivative. Maybe he's, like, got heritage from Joa, whatever it's called. The Portuguese former colony in India. But, yeah, so this is interesting. I'm not quite sure if he's a political pundit of some sort. Like, what his sort of status, I guess, within the political sphere. Within, or even within the country, right, within America. I think he lives in California, because he does mention when he talks about, I forgot, there was a point. What keeps shaking? Maybe this thing, I don't know what that is. Apologies for that noise in the background. I know it's annoying as heck. But, it's a water bottle, bloody hell. Yeah, what was I thinking of? Yeah, this guy. So he makes this documentary. This documentary is a big part of him. He's a big part of making this documentary in it. So this documentary, it's not quite pro Republican as it is pro Trump, I guess, and sort of vindicating. I think the word vindicate sort of means like to vilify, to attack, right, to try to tear down. And so it's called Vindicating Trump. It's kind of deep. It's diving deep into like maybe why they want to vilify him. They have the comparison in the film, because this is true actually. They show us the clips. I mean, we all seen them before. A lot of some of these, especially these news people, right? They'll call Trump like a tyrant, a Hitler, he's the next Hitler. All the names in the book that are negative to be associated with: sexist, racist, misogynistic. All these sort of catch-all terms that you hear and whatnot kind of get thrown his way. They have been getting thrown his way, continue to get thrown his way. And so, like, yeah, in this film with Mr. Trump, it's sort of like, what was I thinking in my head? Had something in my head. I was thinking of something. It's like, why do they want to throw him down? Why do they want to attack him? I like when they show the beginning of the film and we get to see like Trump, because Trump was famous before where he became president. He had and I think D'Souza said it correctly, right? You're a guy, you're a cultural icon. You were someone that was in the sphere of celebrity stardoms, and not stardoms, but the star world. I mean, because apparently Donald Trump has a fucking star in Hollywood. Because in the film they showed us like when they revealed his star on the, I think it's Walk of Fame or something like that. That's impressive. I was impressed by that. I said, wow, this guy Trump even has a star there. I would have never guessed. But yeah, right. Trump is a person. He's an individual that colloquially, colloquially is like local terminology, I think. But he's an individual that he's been within the cultural sphere influence within the United States. And I think when D'Souza mentioned, if you called for insurrection then, or you do call for one now, it will happen, right? There's people that they certainly will, and he even mentions this in the documentary, there's like two extremes. There's almost two extremes to him. There's these diehard loyalist supporters that would take a bullet for him. They probably will. Most definitely. They would put their life on the line to save him. And then there's the exact extreme opposite, where there's these individuals that don't like him. They want him killed. They want him to die. And when he mentioned Thomas Crooks, right? How Thomas Crooks, maybe he was hearing about this evil, vilifying, vindicating, the vindication of Trump. He's heard about it. And so with his assassination attempt, it almost feels appropriate, it feels appropriate to say that Thomas probably thought he was a hero, that he was doing good for his country when he sought forth to kill Mr. Trump. And even me saying this, right, there's people that would hear me say this And they would say, and I think he said it also as well, right? When he mentioned people try to get around this narrative with Trump when they say, I don't like him as a person, but I like his policies, right? And because I think he said it well when he said the I forgot what the word he used, but he said, like, with Abraham Lincoln, he used Abraham Lincoln as an example, but he mentioned with Abe Lincoln, what was I thinking of in my head? He mentioned that with Abraham Lincoln, the thing that made him unpopular, right, was that a big component was that slavery, right? His stance, I guess, on slavery, or his willingness to free the slaves, to end that institution in our country, right? Whereas Trump, his feel is kind of his person in general, is it? It's him himself. It's the man. It's not maybe necessarily a policy per se, but it's the person themselves, the actual human, that sort of takes the blunt of, like, he's the villain. Like, him in general is just the villain, right? It's what good has he done? When it comes to presidential candidates, or reading the politician people, what good they've done, what bad they've done, I couldn't tell you, honestly. I couldn't. I'm like, I think most people, I want to say most people are probably like me, in that we just kind of see the surface of the person. We see what's presented to us, and we pass a judgment on, like, I see the personality, I like the way they talk, because I like the way Trump talks. When they say Trump is funny and a comedian, yeah, I can agree with that. He is funny. He is a comedian. Donald Trump has, when he makes his nicknames for his political opponents, like, it's pretty funny, actually. It's pretty hilarious. I remember hearing the one about, like, Ron DeSantis, and I like that. There's this funny thing where I feel like Trump, he's on the Republican Party, yes, but even within that party, I feel like he's still sort of outlined, right? He's still, like, if he made his own party, he can kind of have maybe his own party, even, I feel, right? He can have his own league. I'm with these guys just because if you run in the United States, you have to run on one of the two parties. You basically have no choice. If you run as a Green or a Libertarian, you're just throwing your vote away. You're throwing your career away, and if you vote those parties, you're just throwing your vote away. What was I gonna say? But yeah, I remember, with Ron DeSantis, he called him DeSantimonious. That's what it was. I think I'm probably maybe misquoting here, but I remember seeing sort of a clip where he said it just came to him. He said, I heard him. He was on the TV, and he's saying his things, talking this, and it just came to me, DeSantimonious. Right? These little nicknames that he comes up with people. Nervous Nancy, Laughing Kamala. You ever hear her laugh? The evil laugh. She's evil. He's got this mocking. I remember when the debate, right? When the people were talking about the debate and how Kamala, she's preparing for the debate, because we've seen Trump debate before, and he can roast you, right? He can grill you. He can drag you through the mud. This man can really do that shit. And pretty well, too. And how they were saying, Kamala, she had to come prepared. She had to come with all the facts, the papers straight. So, or I guess can be prepared for this man to drag you through, thicken through, chew you up, and spit you out the other end, honey, right? It's, in this documentary, we get a lot of the Democrats bad, Democrats evil, kind of. And I guess what he's coming from is that, who are the people attacking him? It is Democrats, is it? It's that party. It's literally the opposition party just relentlessly attacking him, vindicating him, basically, right? They're just trying to throw him out, and it's not working. It's definitely not working. I mean, he's basically a martyr now in some sort of sense. He's sort of become a martyr with actually 2 assassination attempts, right? Thomas Crook's first, and then the second one that transpired, like maybe a couple of weeks ago at the time that I'm recording this. Yeah, this is, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the documentary. It's got loud. It's very loud. I find it's very, and maybe that's the theater that I watched in it. It's projected very loud, but it's very loud. I'm not a fan of the credits or the music used in the film. I'm not a fan of these, oh my goodness, what was it? I guess that's for me for entertainment purposes. They have these moments in the documentary where we have what is it, like, reenactments? Not even reenactments. They're kind of imaginings of like what these top kind of democratic figures and like legal people, what they might conversations they might have been having, conversations that were going on with like, because I guess, and it makes sense that in the political sphere in these offices, they will be looking at candidates and they'll be saying, well, maybe we gotta look out for this person. Maybe we have to dig dirt. We have to try to tear this person down, or like, we need to help our candidate, and we're gonna help them by showing, hey, let me show you why you shouldn't vote for them. Let me show you why this person is not a good candidate, right? Things of that nature, right? And we get that with this. I didn't care for it much. Thankfully, the skits aren't too long. We do get kind of a post-credit scene skit with the lesbian lady, that she's like very anti-Trump, and I guess it feels appropriate because there are people really like her, right? That they're very. The funniest skit actually with this is when everybody, I think all the skits are coming together on like a Zoom call. Even this guy that we never seen before, that he's using a virtual avatar rather than his fucking face for the virtual call. That was probably the funniest one, of like, because like these commoner folk, this guy's a lawyer type person. These dudes, I think they're like supposed to be millionaire tycoon type people, and then we have like the Democrat office guy and the woman that he said, oh, everybody in here. Actually, you know what? And we never got to see the other gentleman, because we had like these, I think they're like supposed to be like frat boys kind of, or like country club, but they're younger, yeah, but they're young men, right? And they came in, I think they were actually some of the first skit people we got, but we didn't get them, at least not that I can recall. There was a time in the documentary where I did kind of nod off and fell asleep. That's just kind of me, like, I'm like doing this now when I'm watching, and my phone is getting too hot, so let me wrap this up. Documentary, Vindicating Trump, yeah, watch it if you like. I enjoyed it through and through. It was an alright documentary. Thank you for listening.